I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, call it audible. Serving up them Hail Marys till the game over with the showstopper. So hot, you gotta blow on it. I said I'll huff and I'll puff, then I'll pass to my left while I'm looking to my right. Hit him right in the chest. It be looking like magic. Better give me the throne. I ain't talking about Patrick, but I rep my home. I'm never at the end of my zone. I'm bad to the bone. Eating up these pig skins like they chicharrones. And you a douche cabron. Mira, mira at the mirror on the wall. I'm the greatest of them all. They gon' put me in the hall. Your name is only written in a bathroom stall. Quit your stalling and make a play. My drive too long, pop the clutch, I don't pump the brakes. I know what it takes to gain the muscle, get rugged. These butterfingers be fumbling, squash the scrimmage and rub it in Robitussin. How I give them concussion, they seeing double, they rushing and pass the shovel, the dirt and rubble, I bury them under it. Stay in your huddle and get 10 yards back, never turn your back. I'ma pull your flag, I go full contact, out punch, out kick like a shotgun blast on 1 out snap. It's a fact that I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, calling audible. Serving up them Hail Marys to
Oh, I had myself on mute. Welcome back to another episode of Horseshoe Mile Podcast. And I'm going to get straight to it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the guys that's on this show, starting with RVD. It's used to be a wrestler, but go ahead, RVD.
Man. I'm Ryan Van Deaver, and how's it going? I am the host of Hot Zone Sports, The Burn, and how's it going, fellas?
Apparently, you've been burning a lot of people. Angel Reese, the Lakers, whoever else.
Hey, I have not burned Angel Reese lately. I've been nice. I actually have stopped myself from posting about Angel Reese because there's a lot of racism. Apparently, people don't like her, and then the people that do like her, it's God.
It's always a lot of clash,
man.
And our guy, Cookie, as Teresa would say. What's going on, Austin?
What's up? I'm Cookie.
You got to give me a backstory on that sometime, man. You really do.
What?
My last name's Cook, so I just was called Cookie growing up, and that's all it was.
It just stuck with you the rest of your life, or will stick with you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's hard to change that. And I'm just saying, I'm back from missing the week off because I didn't have a voice. I couldn't talk. I couldn't yell. I couldn't do anything. I was here in the comments getting on you guys' nerves. And one comment I saw that I didn't agree with was, I can't remember the guy's name, but he told Harish that he was a bad host and that he needed me back on the show. I didn't agree with that because Harish is a great host. He's a legend in the streets. Don't do him like that, man. He always a guy that he does well on his own shows and he does well on this show. He does great on both his show and this show. So show the man some respect, man. Don't do the man like that, man. I know, players make mistakes, and he's a big player in East Coast streets. So give a man a chance to redeem himself next time he had the host. But forget all that. Let's talk about the East Coast. And before we do that, I'm going to plug in our sponsor, which is FanBattleSports.com. You can find our previous episodes. You can find all of our merchandise on there. You can find out, all the articles that was written. You can find all that on FanBattleSports.com. Find all that on FanBattleSports.com. Check us out. But before let's get into the episode, guys. We had some news today. We saw some overpays by the Giants and overpays by the Patriots. But the Patriots have all the money in the world to give everybody, including me, you, and Austin. What you guys think about the news that we got today with Stephon Diggs signing with the Patriots and Let's Ride Russell signing with the Giants? Go ahead, RVD.
See, the Giants one didn't really make that much sense to me. Because you had already signed Jameis, 2 years, $18 million, and now you're signing Russell Wilson. They're acting like they needed a starter or they needed a solid backup. I don't actually think the Giants know what in the world they're actually doing at this point because you have neighbors, you don't have a lot of weapons on offense. Like you got a bunch of solid weapons. They're okay, but they're acting like they're going to the Super Bowl and they need a solid backup or a solid starter. I don't even think they know who's going to be the starter at this point. I think they're just smashing and grabbing whatever the heck they want. And when it comes to Stephon Diggs, I really hope that the Colts get their act together because if the Patriots become better than the Colts before the Colts, I'm gonna lose it. But Stephon
Are
Diggs,
you saying that because they signed Diggs, or are you saying that because they're making
they've had a good offseason. Like they got good coaching staff coming in. They've been signing good players. They got a good draft pick coming up. Who knows what they're going to do with that? I mean, it couldn't be anything bad. I mean, it could, but in the reality, you have a top draft pick like that, it's not going to be exactly bad. But it's just, man, I thought for once the Patriots were like a dead fish in water, and now
I
they're
mean,
actually
they were though. I mean, let's not forget, they had the first overall pick at one point and they lost it when they started Joe Milton, and Tennessee ended up getting the first overall pick. And let's not forget that they had about 100 million in cap space to spend, so they could buy everybody on the market, which they did the first 2 days. And they, as you can see, continue spending money. But we knew that we knew that last year they didn't spend a lot of money when they had like 90 million. But I think they ended up having like over 100 million in cap, so we knew that they're going to be the top team to be spending in free agency. And then getting Mike Vrabel, who is a proven coach in the league, that helps. He know what a team looks like, minus AJ Brown. That wasn't right. I shouldn't have said that. With AJ Brown and without him. But I understand what you're saying, that the way they built their team and having them being better, or having their team being built and progressing before us, would be a lot of disdain fans. Well, we already disdain anyway, but we'd be a lot of mad fans, more mad fans in the Colts culture. But go ahead and finish. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I will say one thing though, because it has been proven, and we witnessed it, when a team goes out and spends big, sometimes that team doesn't become a cohesive unit, and sometimes those big expenditures they end up flopping. We saw that under Grigson, and yes, I really never thought I would say his name again, but here we are, and it's just, I really hope that the moves that the Colts made this offseason spurs them into the right direction, because they are good moves, and you can only hope that a lot of health stays there.
I agree. Austin, what's your take on those signings? Does it move the needle for either team? Because Patriots do have a quarterback. They do draft Drake May, and his problems with weapons in the offensive line. And maybe they make some moves in the draft for offensive line, but they did get a weapon today.
Yeah, so like Ron said, the Giants is kind of confusing. They got Jameis and now they have Russell. They got two older mid quarterbacks. I don't really know what they're trying to do. Like he said, they have Malik Neighbors, and I'm sure Malik Neighbors wants to play with somebody that he can play with for a long time,
Right.
and they're just not doing that right now. So it's a little confusing with that move, but I mean, we'll see what happens. And then with Stephon Diggs, I don't really know what he is anymore. Like last year, he was playing pretty good before he got hurt, but not great. And now he's going to the Patriots in a new offense. So I do think it was an overpay, but it could work out for him because, like you said, the Patriots had no weapons, so Diggs is better than no weapons. So we'll see, like I said, we'll see what happens.
With Diggs was more so of a safety net, or he was like a third option with the Texans. He didn't have a lot of yards. He had, he was getting more touchdowns in the red zone, especially against us. I think he had like 2 touchdowns in the first game against us. We thought, hey, he's back. I don't think he deserved the big contract. I think he's over 30 years old, maybe 32. I don't think he deserved that big contract. But when you have a team that's want to throw the money at you, and he went in and had some workouts with them. And they got the money to throw at you. I mean, you can't say no when they're offering you more than anybody else is offering you. Come out for an injury that he had at an older age. So, hey, kudos to the Patriots. I hate them. So I don't care. I hope it blows up in their face. But you got to prove head coach. With the Giants and their moves, which made no sense because we thought the Giants were one of the teams that are going to get one of the 2 quarterbacks in Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. And now just shows that they're not getting a rookie quarterback, because it'd be dumb to do that when you pay 2 guys the amount of money they paid, with one $18 million, the other one is $21 million. And you know how the rookie contract goes. So it just shows that they're not looking for a rookie quarterback. They want an experienced quarterback. Those 2 quarterbacks are pretty much past their prime, but it takes them out of running for a quarterback. Now you got the Raiders, you got the Browns, and then Tennessee fighting over 2 quarterbacks that, they're pretty good quarterbacks, but we'll see how they are in the NFL. And last thing, anything you guys want to say on this before we move on?
Another thing I want to say is, what about the Steelers, man?
Oh,
they have little to no options left. I talked about it last night, on the Burn podcast. Like, they are running out of options. What are they going to do? Wait for Aaron Rodgers? Like, they're literally. Aaron Rodgers is the marionette. He is controlling the marionette, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is what they are right now. They are holding on to that hope that he's going to sign, but he stayed with the Steelers over the weekend for 6 hours and still walked away, not signing the contract when they offered it. Like, there's not a lot of good options out there. What are you going to take the field with Mason Rudolph? Talk about mid.
Definitely mid. But the thing is too, is that if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm over 40 years old. I saw what happened with the Jets. The Jets was not a good organization to build a legacy off of. But you go to, as you can see how the Steelers are ran, they historically have a great defense. They just added DK Metcalf, and you already have George Pickens. Why not go there? You got the weapons that you've been needing. That you barely got with the Jets. You got that the latter part of your career. The last year you got, and you got 2 receivers that are dogs. They can get open, period. And he can still sing the ball. He had it somewhat down year last year, but having 2 receivers like those, you can't turn it down. And they got a nice tight end, and they got a nice running back with is this Warren? Is this Warren? So I mean, why not? Why are you holding them, like you said, by the balls? Because you don't want to make your mind up. Because initially he said that the Giants, he had to go to, what was it? It was the Steelers and another team. If he had to choose those 2, I think it was the Giants and the Steelers, he was going to retire. Now he had to sit, like you said, he had a meeting or had an interview for 6 hours with the team, over 6 hours with the team about his future. He don't know what he want to do. If he having this type of issue, just go ahead and retire, because it's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of during the season, because he's gonna butt head with Mike Tomlin, he's gonna butt head with the receivers, because he's gonna be a prima donna. That's what he been the last couple of years. If I'm a Steelers, I just go another direction. Just go draft or I don't know what they're going to do, because they've been having winning seasons for the past 15, 16 years, no matter who's the quarterback. So I don't know what they should do. Because, waiting on Aaron Rodgers, and then, the options are very thin now. Who are you going to get? Like you said, Mason Rudolph again. They tried that already. That ain't Joe Flacco. We saw how that works.
But here's something else, though. are the Giants going to triple down in the draft? You know, they got the Cleveland Browns in front of them at number 2. Are they going to go ahead and select Shador Sanders if he's still there? Like, are they?
No, that'd be the most dumb thing that they would do, to have 3 quarterbacks on a contract that they have.
It's the
Man.
Giants. They paid
Correct.
Daniel Jones instead of paying Saquon Barkley.
$40 million per year. Yeah.
They had the money to pay Saquon. They just didn't do it. They had
That's
the
what I'm
money.
saying. Like, they chose
Yeah.
to sign Daniel Jones to an extension, but decided to just let Saquon walk.
But
It's
in
not a good
reality,
organization.
Saquon doesn't do what he did
There
this
we go.
year with the Giants' offensive line.
No, he doesn't. But he still played well. He was still a top running
yeah.
back when he was healthy. So
Oh,
Oh, he
yeah.
was.
right.
Yeah, he
No
was
doubt.
definitely. Yeah, he was definitely one of the better. Him, CMC, and Derrick Henry was top 3 guys in the league, and then you had other guys followed by, you know, with Nick Chubb, JT, and let's go on. So yeah, he definitely was, you know, top 5 running back in the league before the injuries started to happen. What's going on, Brave Lifer? I didn't know who your name was, so I couldn't shout you out, man. But I know you was joking, man. You know, it's always to have good sense of humor. And I was touching on other comments that was made. Hey, Teresa, and what's going on, Sean? You know, welcome back to the comment section, and thank you for the support of our show. But let's go ahead and move on, guys. Topic is more than just a visit, and what I'm meaning by that is the coach supposed to be bringing in Quinn Ewers as a top 30 pick interview. I don't know when it's going to be, but what you guys think about that? Quinn Ewers being interviewed by the Colts. I don't know what. I doubt they pick him at 14, but we've seen stranger things. What you think? What you think about?
God, no.
Yeah, go ahead, Austin. What you think about that? The real UT quarterback.
First of all, I want to say the real UT is Tennessee. We were here first. It is what it is. But now I'm okay with the meeting Quinn Ewers. Like, if he's healthy, he's a good quarterback. But
Mhm.
being healthy is the issue, which we've seen. AR has a problem with staying healthy.
Right.
So as a Colts fan, we don't want another injury quarterback. But yeah, I wouldn't want him at 14 at all. If we got him, I would hope it would be a little later than that. But you know, I'm okay with the meeting, like, personally.
What you got on that RVD?
Well, the thing is, you know, he had his pro day today, and he threw 59 passes. 59 were catchable from deep to short. And actually, I went out and looked for his videos when it came to his deep passes, because that's more what I was interested to be able to look at, because he's kind of struggled with deep passes, hasn't been real consistent, but his deep passes were actually on point. But we're also going to be running into a situation here, the same thing with the Giants. So you have these 2 quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. Are we going to triple down? I understand, you know, we lost a backup in free agency, who apparently is still in free agency as of yesterday. Don't know if he got signed today. But the problem is, it's just, I don't know if the Colts should select him.
Right.
I just like, could it be a good building block for the Colts? Yes, but I just think there's too big of a mess in the quarterback room, and I don't know if you just want to add more mess into it. Like, say the Colts draft him, that's just going to add more drama into it. And I understand people feed onto that drama, but I just don't feel like it would be a good fit. You know, he's not going to go in the first round. Could he be going in a 3rd or 4th round? Yeah, probably. I don't think he's a 2nd round quarterback. There's not a lot of those. But yeah, to me, it's just, I don't know. It would be a weird fit. Would it be a good selection to get a quarterback as kind of like a fail safe? Sure.
Mhm.
But you got quarterbacks that are still on the free agent market that you can bring in here to be that third string guy if you want.
Go ahead, Austin. Oh, you already said it. You're the first one. So, my take on that too is I get both of you guys' point in this. Bringing him just gonna bring him in and signing him or drafting him only have us more, quarterback controversy, more spotlight on us to say where the coach don't know what they're doing, which we've been saying that for 8 years anyway. So, I mean, drafting him, the only way I see him drafting him is that you have Daniel Jones on a 1-year deal, and then if let's say people always have speculations if Daniel Jones beat out AR, then AR is cooked, but Daniel Jones on a 1 year, so having Quinn Ewers could be your next quarterback because Daniel Jones will be your bridge quarterback, and AR will be already gone and probably won't be a starting quarterback ever again if he get beat out by Daniel Jones. So I would see that if this was to happen. I don't see him being picked at 14.
No.
Yeah. Now I'll be confused. And I definitely wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be a happy fan.
That'd be a fun live stream.
It definitely would be because my face would be. I'd be stoned. I'd be looking like the screen paused on me because I probably wouldn't even move because I'd be upset. Like, what made them do that? But I can get why. It's just that if you're going to get a quarterback, then get him next year. If you see that Daniel Jones won't be your future, you saw that AR is not your future, then you got 2 years to draft a quarterback of your future. If you're going to be moving on from the guy that you picked 2 years ago at 4. So, yeah. I mean, I guess they're just doing just checking out the quarterbacks and see what, what's out there. Because, I mean, probably better than the guys they got on the market now. Who on the market now? PJ Walker. You got DTR. What's the guy name is? The guy from UCLA? Thompson?
No, he's on the Eagles.
Yeah, he's on the Eagles. He got
they
traded
signed
to the
him?
Eagles. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's very thin. I mean, Sam Ehlinger is probably done. He's gone, and he had his chance. I think you got we got guys on these what that is the other one is practice squad and Bean.
Yeah, Bean.
Who else is another guy too? But I know Bean. Probably everybody been seeing him in training camp last year in the preseason game, which he played pretty good. But you got him. But I mean, he's not the answer. So yeah, I mean, which brings the next, Go ahead.
I don't know. You just can't sweep it under the rug when the Colts add a top 30 visit. You just can't. He's going to go in between round 3 and round 5, and I don't know. I just particularly think that the Colts in general, they have more needs. They got to get another defensive end because we lost a defensive end in free agency. We got to get a linebacker, running back.
Yeah.
It's just tight end being number 1. You still haven't picked up anyone in free agency when it comes to that.
Yes, hug it out, man. Hug it out.
Hug it out. I'll live stream that session.
I think it's Ezekiel. He's got me watching Robin Hood. I don't want to talk about a mess if you bring him in. I mean, it would be a mess. It would be. Which we're trying to get out of a mess already. I mean, like Teresa said, if you're gonna go through all this process, I wouldn't do that. I'd go get little Arch Manning. Either next year. Well, he won't come out next year. He'll be probably in 2 years.
Yeah.
In 2 years, I go get him. If
just
that's what you
let
want to
Daniel Jones play until then.
Yeah, he'd just be your bridge quarterback until then. I mean, he's going to stink it up anyway, so might as well.
Yeah, they're not letting that family's not letting Arch coming out as a junior. That's not happening.
No, yeah, they know too much. That and the grandfather and the brothers, and the dad. Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah,
which brings to this topic. Is it time to worry? about AR's future. You know, if they're looking at Quinn Ewers and they signed Daniel Jones and GM that said this here.
Between Daniel and Anthony, you're going to see a really good competition. It's going to be spirited competition, but I also think it's one that's going to be where they help each other to grow too. And so we thought Daniel's skill set and Anthony's skill set, there's a lot of similarities there. So offensively, I think that's going to help, our offensive staff say, okay, we don't have to make these wholesale changes with one guy or the other. We got to make the best decision for the team. Whatever the outcome is based on performance.
That don't sound like he's committed to AR. It sounds like whatever happens. It will sound like, he have no clue what he wants. He don't have no clue whether he wants AR to beat out the guy that he paid $14 million to be a backup for. He don't know if he want Daniel Jones to start because he did pay him $14 million. But what's your take on that, Ryan?
All right, there's 2 points I take away from this. Actually, 3. The first point is, man, I feel for Chris Ballard's wife because he is a master manipulator. The only thing is he drops a couple of tea leaves there if you actually caught up to it. Okay, Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson are very similar quarterbacks. Right now, the only thing they're similar in is their complete garbage passing percentage. That is what they are similar in because they were the bottom 2 in completion percentage. Next off, Chris Ballard, you just need to stop. For once in your life, be honest with your fan population. Okay. Yes. Just come out and say these quarterbacks are not the same. Okay. One has cement in his shoes. The other is fast. That's basically just completely polar opposites. Okay. So just stop with it. Do we need to worry about Anthony Richardson's future? Yes, we do. We are at that point right now. There's a reason why he's been grinding all offseason. You've seen the pictures. You've seen the videos. We've all seen them. So he's obviously working. He knows that the light at the end of the tunnel is pretty damn close, and he's got a target on his back. And with Daniel Jones, I don't know. It's really hard to tell with Daniel Jones. He's had one good season in the NFL, I believe in 2022, where he just went complete beast mode throughout the entire season. It wasn't just segments, a game here, game there. It was a full season of great play. Now, can he bring that Daniel Jones back? There's obviously a reason why he didn't sign with the Vikings. The Vikings wanted to sign him, and he ended up signing with the Colts because he saw the tea leaves that Chris Ballard was giving him, that he has a fighting shot of being the starting quarterback for this team, and he wasn't going to have that shot with the Vikings. So do we need to worry about AR's future? Yeah, we do. But another thing, we don't really know. We haven't seen on the field what type of progression he's made this offseason. So until we actually see that, we need to pump the brakes a little bit.
Well said. What about you, AC?
Yeah, I agree. We do need to worry about his future. But I've said since before we even signed Daniel Jones, this year is a make or break year. I don't think the only way that he's not going to be the starter is if he just comes out there and is bad or like gets hurt. I think those are the only way he's not going to be the starter is if they completely give up on him. So yeah, it is. We have to worry about it because we got him at 4 a couple years ago. You obviously want that guy to be that guy for a long time. So, but this is a make or break year. I'm not worried about Daniel Jones stealing his job. I think it's AR's job to lose, no matter what Chris Ballard says. We just gotta hope AR is actually progressing and does come out and show us, he is working to get better and he is getting better. whenever we actually get to see him.
And that's all we want. We want what they project him as. He's a project quarterback, but they knew that he had some flashes. He had some things that he need to work on, which we haven't seen yet. And he just has to put in, put all he has a lot to work on this year. Like you said, make a break year. And it's could be a lot for a young kid that's 22 years old, soon to be 23. But that's what he signed up for. He signed up to be a quarterback, not a running back, not a tight end, not a receiver, not an old lineman, not a defensive lineman. He signed up to be a quarterback, and that's one of the toughest jobs to be in. He see in his own division, he see how CJ Stroud, which is his friend, flourish. He had a down year last year, but he see that CJ has Texans looking really good. He see a quarterback with similar style play as him win a Super Bowl, as in Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying that I'm not comparing them as the same, but similar style for his running ability and able to pass through various ways. And he won a Super Bowl. I mean, granted, he got some weapons on both sides of the field, but Jalen got
You
it.
also saw another quarterback with the same archetype win the MVP, Josh Allen.
Just saw
So
that. And who's working out with him in the offseason. So case in point right there. You're working out with Josh Allen, who just won the MVP, and they're kind of the same. Coming in the league with bad completion percentage. Starting from year one up until where he is now. We see Josh Allen now carried the Bills. He's been carrying them for years. But he has been a great quarterback. Now he's an MVP. You got to call him MVP now. He's MVP Josh Allen. And so it is a lot to worry about. And his future is somewhat in jeopardy with them looking at, Quinn Ewers, visiting with him bringing in Daniel Jones. You bringing Daniel Jones, who is next to you in completion percentage. That's bad. And then you got a GM praising both of them. He don't know who the hell's, he don't know what, not to call him shit, but, he's comparing shit to shit and saying, well, this one got, this one got sugar on it. This one have brown sugar. And so he's just comparing both of them and saying, hey, well, what happens. He don't know what he wants. And I hope that he said, no matter who it is, I hope that we see a great performance on the field from either one of them. Because both of them right now are failed quarterbacks. Right as we speak today, both quarterbacks are failed quarterbacks. Daniel Jones being on 3 teams, and AR don't know. He had 3 different backups, and supposedly had 3 different quarterback competition. He beat out Gardner Minshew, ended up getting hurt. He beat out Flacco, ended up getting benched because he was tired. And now he got Daniel Jones, who was overpaid and got cut and was a backup to the Vikings, who didn't want to start him until the end of the game, in the season, because they started with Mullen over him. So that should tell you right there. He was a third string with the Vikings. Now they didn't even bump him up to second under Sam Darnold. So that should tell you right there that he is done. But I hope that our GM or our front office and our head coach know what we're doing, because right now we're looking like a mess. And I didn't want to talk too much on that, but yeah, we should be worried about AR's future. Anything else on that before we move on to the next topic?
Nope.
This made me happy right here. This made me very excited to see, new DC break down his new weapon on defense. And I say weapon, he can line them up on anybody on that field and lock them up. Before I get into the video, what you guys think about the addition of having Shadarius Ward? But you guys, think that, because I know last year he had a down year. He dealt with some things, and he just couldn't get it going. But with the fresh start, new scenery, and less, being in California is pretty bad for young players. But being in Indy, where people already say it's boring, nothing going on, but he got a lot that he can focus on, which is himself, his family, and perform on the field. But what you guys think about that?
I mean, I think it's great to finally have a cornerback that can go out and cover anybody you need him to. actually play man, press on people. I think it'll be great for Lou's defense. It's exciting to finally have someone like that. It's been a long time.
For a second, I thought we was gonna get the other guy that signed with the Ravens that was cut by the Titans. I was like, please God no. But good. The Ravens picked him up. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm always a bit standoffish when the Colts sign a premier player, just because. I mean, if you look at that cornerback room over the past 2 to 3 years, appreciate it, Braves Lifer. That's awesome. If you look at that cornerback room, it has just been plagued with injuries. I mean, you got Juju Brents. He's gone down the past 2 years, and he barely seen the field. We had a 7th round pick who was actually climbing up those ranks when it comes to the secondary, and he got injured. And it's just like, and this was
Jalen Jones.
No, it wasn't Jalen Jones. It was somebody else. He was on his last year of his contract. Name's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's just like this happened all before the season started. This season, so we're already down to cornerback.
Flowers.
Yeah, Dallas Flowers. That's who. And so there was it's really hard to understand the dynamic. Like, where is the Colts secondary really at? Are they still one of the worst in the league? I don't think they would have been if Brents wouldn't have gotten injured these past 2 seasons. And plus, we don't really know where he's at. But when it comes to Mooney Ward, that guy is not only going to upgrade the secondary, obviously, that's first and foremost. Secondly, he's going to bring a certain type of grit, a certain type of winning, Super Bowl winning mentality to the Colts that has been missing. I mean, the only thing you hear about the Colts, if you're not a fan, is them podcast boys. That's it. That's all you hear in the offseason. And it's just kind of, ever since Ward signed, you haven't heard anything from Zaire Franklin yet, podcast or anything like that. I found that to be very interesting.
You know why?
Why?
Because he knew after last year the back and forth with Pat McAfee, he knew that he needed to focus on that, focus solely on the field, and he got embarrassed by the Giants. We saw that, but he did speak on. He was on Good Morning Show with Latu and Cam Bynum. And he just had speak on what he wanted to see out of those guys and just what he envisioned and what he sees in the new defense and what he expects moving forward. And I think somebody did mention the podcast. I think he kind of like, I'm kind of brushed it off or whatever, because he knows it's not important. Regardless if it was 15 minutes of his time, him being off for 30 minutes, he should be watching that 15 or 30 minutes should be on film. When you top 10 and miss tackles, you and your other guy. Thank God the other guy's not being re-signed, so they can't be on them together unless it's off season, unless all be re-signed. So that's why you haven't seen him on a podcast none this off season. If it is, we ain't seen not one episode. I haven't seen anything being reposted by him or anybody else. I think he tweeted something saying he was just chilling, trying to enjoy life. So that should tell you a different demeanor, because you got a new DC now. You don't have Gus Bradley. You got Lou and Aramu. So, yeah, things can change. And it's new because we lost that culture somewhere. We lost the locker room. The culture was gone. And now we're trying to regain that back. So you can go ahead and finish that.
Yeah, it's just Ward brings a multitude of things to this secondary and to this entire team. And, whether or not he's in his prime or he's out of his prime, I've heard different content creators for the Colts. I hate to call you out, but I've seen them saying, oh, he's going to have the best year he's ever had. you need to pump those brakes on those expectations because we don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not going to speak on injuries. I'm not going to speak on any of that. But I'm just saying we don't know what's going to happen because I've seen teams make these massive moves. Oh, it's the best free agent signing the last 5 years. All right. We haven't seen him on the field yet. We haven't seen him mesh. We don't know what kind of chemistry he's going to have with the defensive coordinator, with the defensive backs coach, with the rest of the players in the secondary. We don't know any of that, but
Right.
he brings a lot more to the team than just being a player, right?
Gotcha. And you're making a lot of sense with that. Yeah, I mean, definitely want to temper your expectation because we've seen, having signed guys and they don't pan out. But we also saw a former Niner player come to the Indy and show out, and Defoe has been showing out ever since he's been there. Not to compare those two, but having it seemed like anybody come from the night, and Sam Womack came over as well and done the same. So it seemed like anybody that comes from St. France and enter, you plug them in on our defense, they for sure end up making our defense a lot better than it was the previous year or previous week, whenever it is. But speaking on Teresa comments, you want to know, will Bean ever get a shot? Only time will tell. I don't think he'll ever start, but he'll get shot mainly in training camp. But I don't, we don't want to see him. If he on the field, it means all our quarterbacks are trash. And she said, "Where's Brents and Woods?" I would take both of them probably working out, trying to make their way back on the field because right now they about to be replaced. Signing Ward is pretty much put Brent's job in jeopardy, and then we get Tyler Warren by Woods, so that's pretty much over for him. He just probably be a guy that's on special teams or probably going to be on practice squad, or probably cut. Then last comment, she said that he apologized and said that he was immature. That it's more likely he would straighten him out. Hopefully so. He did apologize, but we know how having the attention that was needed on both ends. Fighting against Pat McAfee, who has no sense. He say whatever he want because they have a big platform that people is going to end up defending him. Others going to end up defending Zaire, which they have been lately. Everybody's been on the cold side telling Pat McAfee to shut the fuck up. I'm going to say that. I'm not going to, excuse my language, I'm going to say the exact words that everybody been saying. He need to shut up. Furthermore, go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, I already said what I needed to say.
And I mean, it's a good pickup. I don't want to overstate how good it was. We haven't had a lockdown CB1. Kenny Moore is our best cornerback, but he's not CB1.
Yeah.
He's been all over the field, and he's the only him, and I think it was Julian Blackman probably led the team in interception. But it's either him or Julian always leads the team in interception. Nobody else. Now Jalen Jones is coming, making his stock rise every year that he's on the field. Shout out to him. He's probably our CB2. He's doing a great job, being that his draft pick was what, 7th round? Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, I think 7th, maybe 6th.
Round. One of Ballard's picks that he loves. Towards the end of the draft, he gets some guys that he feel like won't do anything, and he only can sign them for little or nothing. I mean, it is about opinions, but you don't see me saying that this show is the best podcast ever. And then you put these numbers versus the other podcast numbers, and they blow our eyes out of the water. As to what he said about the Giants, and then the Giants kick our ass and eliminate us from the playoffs. Because that was supposed to be a playoff game. That's supposed to be a win that puts us in playoff position. And we got eliminated. So I get that everybody have opinion, but when you're saying that you want to play a team like the Giants, you want to bust their ass, and then they turn around and bust your ass, and you was on the field while they bust your ass, it's a piece of humble pie. And he had a bunch of that. And then you got, Pat McAfee saying, "I told you so." That don't look right. I definitely want a guy that I've been going back and forth with for weeks about, your team, and then turn around, you get stumped, and then he like, "Hey, first thing Monday, he talking about you, and he's passive aggressive about you. I don't want that at all. But I get what you're saying, Teresa. All the podcasts are based off opinions. I just don't speak wow. I don't go out, and say things that I probably don't know. And I know it's just not true. I got confidence in us saying, hey, we're a good podcast, but I won't say we're the best one ever. Because I just putting my foot in my mouth and just putting too much target on us as a group. I think we're good, but I won't say anything that makes us look stupid. And that's what he did. I'll go ahead with the what Lou spoke on about his new cornerback in Indy.
You got a corner that's been a proven guy throughout his career. Tall, can really run. He's got length, great arm length. Excels in press coverage. We want to be tight in coverage as we defend people this year, and he has done a great job of that in his career, and also taken the ball away. You can see him down here at the bottom of the screen in press man-to-man coverage, backside of a 3-by-1 formation, really a 4-by-1, and that signifies to that guy, you got action here, and you can see what he does to Addison here. Really doesn't even allow him to release off the line. It's a 50-50 ball. Usually those are down the field, but that one was on a slant, and he's able to take the ball away and make a big play.
Let's go on to the next one here.
Yeah, at the top of the screen, he's playing off coverage, playing a 3-deep zone, sees the man in his zone is open, times it up great, steps in front, and then not only can he take the ball away, but he shows you his speed here and also his ability to return the ball. And anytime you score on defense, a huge play. At the top of the screen, similar where.
Yeah, Tebby don't like that. That's a guy you want to have on your defense.
Okay.
We haven't had a lot of that. Again, the only guy that does that is Kenny Moore, who he did that against the Panthers, took back to the house. We don't have a lot of guys that are like that on our defense. And adding this guy who's been proven, as Lou said, and what we all said, that makes us look forward to seeing our defense on the field on Sundays instead of seeing, Dallas Flowers, Darrell Baker. Those guys, I'm glad those guys are behind us. We saw Flowers get cooked by BTJ in Jacksonville, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to see this guy ever again. And good thing he's with the Titans now. So shout out to the Titans for signing him. We won't ever see him again because we got this guy here. I'm not saying he's going to be the best ever next year. I just want to see better than what we've seen the previous years. And I got a feeling that with the Lou defense, he's going to lead the charge amongst other guys, Kenny Moore, Nick Cross, Cam Bynum, and the front four, the guys in the front. We're going to see a different team. And I'm excited about that. But moving on to our last topic before we get up out here, guys, because we've been on too long, and they don't want to hear us talk about the nice things we got. We got some new weapons, we got new toys. It's Christmas for us. Christmas in March. And so a lot of people don't want to hear that, our haters. Not Coach fans love it, but the haters don't want to hear that. Yeah. But let's talk about this new kickoff proposal. What you guys think about that? The new proposal of them changing once again.
This reminds me of the NCAA, like straight up. Okay, the NCAA. Excuse me, the NCAA. What do? They witness that there's a big problem with whatever's going on, kickoff, returns, whatever it is. They notice there's a big problem there. And then it's not brought to their attention until the Twitterverse or Facebook world decide to call them out on it in multitudes, and then they're forced to fix it. I think this is the NFL saying, all right, yeah, the new kickoff was actually boring. We're going to change it a little bit. So I think that's all this is. We didn't see a lot of returns last season. It was another play. That's really what it was for me.
I agree with the proposal. Was the committee is expecting to propose kickoff adjustment for the new year 2025, moving touchback from the 30-yard line to the 35 in effort to increase return rates. Okay, so that's what they're trying to increase the return rates. which we haven't seen a lot of it in the new format that they had last year. I don't think they had any return for a touchdown. I think if it was, maybe one. That's how bad it is. But go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If it makes for more returns, then cool, do it. But like, honestly, yeah. So I don't know. At this point, I don't care about the kickoffs. So if they make people care about them again, then great.
How about we just cut on the TV and just say, you know what, flip a coin and just go ahead. Whoever win the toss, just line up on whatever your line and just play
Backyard football.
Yeah, just play football. Because now we're just changing it and looking like fools, looking like the CFL. Which I mean, I think their stuff is normal kickoff rules. And right now we just keep changing and changing. Like we're looking like fools. We're looking like fools. You keep changing it for nothing. I thought it was the return rates. They didn't want too many returns because of concussions. I thought they wanted to protect the returners from getting concussions.
Yeah, and it's 5 yards that they're changing. Like it's not
Ooh.
something huge.
Oh man,
That's a lot of-
I think The Rock paid Commissioner Goodell too much money. We're like, this is gonna work, man. No, it really didn't. It was actually the worst set of rules. It took fans half the season to try and figure out what the rules were. You had every game for half the season. Like the broadcasters were explaining it every single game. What more do you need to know?
Because you have to kick it. You have to kick it in this certain parameters. If
Yeah.
you kick it over that, then I think it's the highlights. If you're not, I think it was a re-kick or you get to start the 40-yard line or something like that. Well, it was stupid. I just wanted to watch the game. I never did. I think I watched the kickoff maybe 3 times last year. Like, you know what? This looks so stupid. Even on the Madden, I was like, I just want to take this off the game. I wish I can. And so it looks. It irritates me. So, this new proposal, if it's better than last year or the previous years, cool. But 5 yards, I know 5 yards for some people is a lot, but for me, okay, whatever.
It's not gonna change much.
Brave Lifer said that we need to start a college football show. He didn't mention Tennessee because they're bad, so he just mentioned 2 good teams. He mentioned 2 good teams. But yeah, that would be cool too. Teresa said, absolutely great show, guys. Always a blast. I was a lifesaver 2 weeks ago. Yes. If you guys don't know, biggest Colts fan you would ever know. She was in the hospital a couple weeks ago. She was putting down, and having coach shows from us, Sick Podcast, was a lifesaver to her. Keep her going through her tough times. So we were able to do that for you, Teresa. So shout out to you, and I'm glad you're back in normalcy and in good health. Prayers does change things. So we're good. We're glad that you're back in good health, and good to see you back on the show representing the Colts. Anything else, guys, you want before we get up out of here and be with our families the rest of the night and have Ryan go back to sleep?
Yeah, right. I just want the rest of Colts Nation to understand we gave the Titans that number 1 pick when we lost to the Giants by 45 points.
Because if the
when
Giants
we gave up 45 points, like we gave the Titans that pick. So when they select Cam Ward and he's the most quarterback ready in this draft, and dude looks good in every video that I've seen, like this could actually be pretty dang dangerous. And the fact that the Colts ended up giving them on a silver platter the number 1 draft pick towards the end of the season. You're welcome, Titans fans.
Yeah. It's funny though, because like if they take Cam Ward, we gave them Cam Ward, and we also gave the Texans CJ Stroud whenever we let them beat us to move back to 2 and let the Panthers or Panthers traded for one, but you know what I'm saying. They had the second pick because they beat us. So we're just helping out everybody. And we'll help Jacksonville out one year, maybe.
Which the thing was, we had them every year because we can't win in Jacksonville. So they don't need any more help from us. Because we can't beat them in almost 10 years in Jacksonville. But now you guys mentioned that because that game against Houston a couple years ago, we were up and they needed like a fourth down pass, like 4th and 20, something like that, to convert a first down. And they went for it or did something. You're like, what the fuck just happened? I mean, I was ready to celebrate, a 3-win game, a 3-win season. I got tired of losing, so I win. I'm like, hell yeah, I want to win. And then here go, they win. Like, wow. And they still end up getting the quarterback they had of choice, because I thought, at least for me, thought that the way the Panthers was, interviewing CJ, that he was the guy, and then Texans was going to get Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson, I think. I think it was one of those two that was. I think it was for sure Bryce Young, but I think they said that Anthony Richardson could be in play as well. So yeah, we helping out every team except ourselves. When do we need to help ourselves out? That's the question. When should we help the coach out in getting the guy that we can brag about? We can't brag about AR. We just got to consistently brag about him because his play is inconsistent right now. So when can we help the coach out? I know it's tough to answer, but our draft coverage, I'm going to go ahead and go over the draft coverage. So starting next week and the following week, we're going to have our 2-part draft coverage predicting our draft picks. We only have 7 picks this year compared to 11 and 12 that Ballard usually has for 8 years. We're going to have 7 this year. So the first week, starting next week, we're going to do first picks. Our first pick, we're going to predict our first picks, first 4 picks. And then we're going to break down those picks of who we think Ballard should draft and break down what the player means or could do or contribute to our defense or offense or special teams in those 4 picks. So look out for content next week for that. And then following week, we're going to finish it off with the next set of picks, whether it be Austin have 6 picks that we got to go through the following week. And then we're going to get ready for the draft. We're going to have our draft party on that Thursday like we have the previous years. Hopefully, last year our GM got allowed to. We was excited. So if he can draft a cornerstone or a stud at 14, we'd be appreciative. He's done so well in the offseason. Don't screw this up. Because we know that when he screw up free agency, he do well in the draft. So now he's doing well in free agency. The draft, I don't know what to expect. But hopefully he can get us a stud at 14, and then the other picks, he do what he should be doing is plugging in holes, getting guys that for sure starters or guys that we can contribute when the starters are out. So look out for that for the next couple of weeks. But next week, we got our picks. We're going to have our I think most of us going to have Tyler Warren, spoiler alert, a lot of us going to have Tyler Warren at 14. So just give y'all a heads up. All 4 of us going to have Tyler Warren. If one of us don't, I won't tell you on the show right now, but one of us don't, it's gonna be a problem. But we're gonna go ahead and end on that note, guys. Thank y'all for watching, supporting. Go ahead and let us know where y'all can be reached at.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
Go ahead, Ryan. I know you got a lot of shows that you say you've been publishing as of late. Go ahead and let them know.
So we recorded a live stream last night. The podcast is out on Hot Zone Sports on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. But before I go on Friday at 4 p.m., there's going to be a live stream. If you are a baseball guy, we have the AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, the GM, coming on the podcast. We're going to be talking everything baseball. I know some people don't like baseball, but this is going to be an interview that you do not want to miss, especially if you want to know what a GM actually does behind the scenes that nobody sees. So, yeah, go ahead and check that out. Actually, I'm going to be creating the live event. That way everybody can follow it. Go check out Hot Zone Sports. We have surpassed 30,000 followers. We are out of Facebook purgatory.
Wow, I didn't know you. I didn't know that. Well, yeah, you're definitely check him out and go follow. As you see the name scroll on the bottom, follow us on all our social medias. Cookie Austin 2, myself at Whois Josh Senior, Harish, who's not on the show, at the Uncle Gandhi, and Ryan HZSR or HZ. What is it? I gotta see it again. HZS Ryan Van Dever. And you can find us on all platforms, starting with YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Horseshoe_Mob. Thank y'all for y'all support. We're going to head up out of here, guys. See y'all next week with our draft coverage. And we are going to be out.
On 1 out snap, it's a fact that I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up,